I rise today to request another unanimous vote for all of our district's biggest employer, and that's our small businesses, our farms, our construction companies, our individuals in the Chamber of Commerce. This bill moves forward small business in Pennsylvania and creates an opportunity to allow them to compete on a level playing field. So thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask for them for the support, and I have to give a special thanks and consideration to my colleague, Representative George Dunbar, who has worked this bill for a number of years, and I'm proud to be able to continue that work with him and help him bring it across the finish line. So thank you, Representative Dunbar.
Thank you, Representative Nelson. All those in favor will be... Yes, Representative Frank Germany on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we're all for business. We're all for small businesses in the Commonwealth. But, however, it's been a while since this bill was on second consideration. I'd like to remind the members that what this bill does is costs the Commonwealth millions of dollars. Now, that may be a good thing, but I think this budget, or this bill, should be done in a much broader conversation concerning our whole budget. We have budget season coming up. We're going to have to vote a budget in a month or so. And if we're going to cut millions of dollars out of the budget, we ought to see how we're going to replace it, how we're going to pay for it, and how we can make it work in a way that makes sense for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, for the businesses of Pennsylvania, and for our budget. So while this may be a good idea in the general budget consideration, a standalone bill that takes millions of dollars out of the Treasury without a larger budget discussion is a mistake, and I urge a no vote.
Representative Dunbar on the bill? Yeah, and then Representative Nelson will get a chance to go last.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to correct for the record what we just heard. This bill does not cost the Commonwealth any money. It is revenue neutral. It is solely just a timing issue on when you can take a depreciation deduction. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody else wish to be recognized before I call upon the prime sponsor of the bill, Representative Nelson? Does anybody else wish to be recognized? Representative Nelson for a second time, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I appreciate the comments of my colleague. And again, not only is this a revenue neutral bill, but the House's financial software does not allow for dynamic modeling. This is a pro-growth bill. And when we talk about even short-term, the reduction of funds, for year one, it is approximately $2 million. $2 million to the state of Pennsylvania to allow small businesses, construction companies, farmers, the ABC, to compete on a more level playing field. Year two, we're talking a total of $18 million. It's not a revenue driving issue. It is time that our small businesses in Pennsylvania be given the same opportunities as our large business. Our greatest employers should be allowed to compete on an equal playing field, and this bill affords that opportunity. And I thank everyone for their unified support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.